Are you fucking real, man? Come on.
Αγαπητοί μπασκετόφιλοι, καλησπέρα σας. Είναι άλλη μια εκπομπή The Retro Stories από τη συχνότητα του Basketbook. Και συγχωρήστε μου λίγο αν χάσω τα λόγια μου, αλλά όπως είπα και στον καλεσμένο μας αλλά και στον Γιώργο, δεν μπορώ να πιστέψω ότι αυτή τη στιγμή θα μιλήσω με έναν θρύλο του ευρωπαϊκού μπάσκετ, έναν τρομερό προπονητή, έναν Hall of Famer, έναν άνθρωπο που όταν ξεκίνησαμε τις εκπομπές ήταν από τους πρώτους που ήθελα να μιλήσω μαζί του. Χωρίς πολλά λοιπόν, ας καλωσορίσουμε μαζί μας τον μεγάλο Bogdan Tanjevic. Coach, good evening. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, everybody. Basketball.
As I told before, I still can't believe that I'm talking with Bogdan Tanjevic. You are a true legend of the sport. And it's a great honor just talking to you, just connect with you today.
That's too much. That's too much. I'm worker of the basketball. Somebody who is on this position, everybody. When is a story about basketball in the game. Story about basketball.
As I told, we want for you to remember your past, your work, your stories, everything you want to share with us. And so let's start from very back. From the day that you were born in Montenegro.
Yeah, I was born in Montenegro in February. That's 3 days before, behind. In 1947, after the Second War, Then first 4 years I lived there. Then my father, who was a military officer, he bring us at Sarajevo, and from my four year age, 4 years, I grow up there in Sarajevo until 18, finished my high school, and then I left and to go in to play great basketball in Belgrade with OKK Belgrade, and after I come back Sarajevo in 71, after 6 years in Belgrade, after I finished my study, after I finished with the OKK Belgrade, and started this my coaching life.
Okay. Γιώργο, πριν συνεχίσουμε να υπενθυμίσουμε στους φίλους μας τον διαγωνισμό μας, στέλνετε μήνυμα και μπαίνετε στην κλήρωση για μία φανέλα μπάσκετμπουκ και ένα καπέλο, προσφορά της εταιρείας Nikan και του φίλου μας Νίκου Ανδριόπουλου. Περιμένουμε τα σχόλιά σας για τον coach Tanjevic. Coach, as a player, you played for Belgradsky, right?
No, but for the OKK Belgrade.
OKK Belgrade, yes.
Famous time, it was one of the every year all OKK Belgrade champion of or Olympia Ljubljana, so very strong team. And I was a fan of this club, like young player from Sarajevo. It was a club of Korac, Radivoj Korac.
Yes, you played along Korac.
Yes. So I had also situation, possibility because of that, passing to play 2 seasons with Korac before he left to go in Belgium to play like a professional player.
Coach, what kind of player was Radivoj Korac? For the younger that haven't seen.
He was a killer instinct, very ambitious for nothing, ambitious to be top scorer. That's and he was very quick. He had a excellent jump and excellent execution, simple things. And he was leader. He was extremely high educated man, knowing everything about everything, not only about sport, about basketball. And he was our idol in the club. We were all falling in love with him, young players. I'm 9 years less than him, and I was the leader of a young part of the team. And we were joking between us. He's a little bit, he was against the new model of the job of Ranko Žeravica, the junior national team coach where I grew up. I played 2 Europe championships in 64 and 66.
66, yes.
For the junior national team. So he should be joke with me about our kind of the preparation, calling that's wood and weights. And no, he never used nothing, let's say, making the test in our sports center. He never give the 100% to make something of this proof that we made so many proof in this test days of the test, let's say 3 days consecutive. Never give the important to be important for him. And we were this new generation working like animals, and so we joke each other during the bus practice and everything. I represent new model, new generation, but it was great love. He gave me his surname Turk. Because I'm from Sarajevo. Can you imagine? So many people, Muslims living there. He told me, I arrived after so many years to be citizens of the Turkey.
Yes, right.
I miss him. I miss him a lot. I miss him a lot because every day I'm thinking. Every day I'm thinking about Chosic, about Mirza Delbash, who they are more close here in my life, and they I miss them from 95 Chosic and Mirza Delbash from 2001. But every let's say every type of the stories I had to speak with him. Korac is one of the central figure, and he's kind of the move to play, to speaking, to joke, to everything. He was really great leader, and he was a chief. You know, Boris Stankovic. Nobody joked with him. Atsa Nikolic, no joke with him. He was protected of this great aureole of the champion, of the top scorer of the. In his level, it was only Ivo Daneu. They were
yes.
They were chiefs, national team, and so that's first story about Korac.
Okay.
Coach, just a minute. Can Andreas translate a bit? Because we can talk for, just to translate for our fans a bit on Greek.
Μιλήσαμε τον coach για το Ραντεβόη Κόρας, με τον οποίο ήταν συμπαίκτης στην OKK Βελιγραδίου. Μας είπε ότι ήταν πολύ μεγάλος παίκτης. Είπε πάρα πολλά coach. Τώρα δεν τα θυμάμαι κιόλα. Μας είπε σε γενικές γραμμές ήταν πάρα πολύ μεγάλος παίκτης. Ήταν ηγέτης μέσα στο γήπεδο. Ήταν killer, βέβαια. Ήταν ένας άνθρωπος ένας άνθρωπος μορφωμένος, που άρεσε η καλή ζωή. Ήταν ένας μποέμ της εποχής και τον Τάνιεβιτς τον αγαπούσε και του έκανε και πλάκα. Μάλιστα τον έλεγε χαρακτηριστικά, επειδή ο coach είχε καταγωγή από το Σεράγεβο, τον έλεγε Τούρκο. Επειδή λόγω των αρκετών μουσουλμάνων που ζούσαν τότε στην Βοσνία, και που να ξέρω coach αργότερα ότι θα γινόταν και πολίτης της Τουρκίας, αφού έχει και την τουρκική υπηκότητα, λόγω της προσφοράς του στο μπάσκετ εκεί. Αλλά θυμάται τον Κόρατς με αγάπη, όπως θυμάται και τον Κρέσμιτ Τσόσιτς και τον Μίρζα Τελίμπασιτς, ανθρώπους που σημαδέψαν τη ζωή του και την καριέρα του. So, coach, you were 24 years old when you left OKK and you went to KK Oriolik.
No, yeah, I was ready to go to sign the contract.
Yes,
in this,
almost.
That was something 10 times more gain in OKK. They were first maybe professional team in Yugoslavia because they had a behind the Oriolik industry of mobile, and they were very rich. So I decided one time, okay, we are not ready to be champion of Yugoslavia, OKK Belgrade, 2-3 times consecutive, fourth. I was somebody who lead the team in this time. No coaches, they spend all the time for the team. And I was with young players, with my generation, already we were on the command, my generation, and very strong team, very strong. We could be win the championship, but the leaders, they didn't know the way. So I decided I'm going in Oriolik. They asked me, giving, let's say, only to sign the value of the two cars.
Two cars.
Two cars. That's something fantastic in my life. I didn't have a chance to buy the car. Even my wife.
Do you remember the salary of in Yugoslav dinars? Do you remember it?
No, let's say that was 4 million value of two cars, only to sign, and plus 600,000. And my salary in Belgrade was 90,000 salary. My wife, she was a great player, and she gained 3 times me because she was the best in the team.
Yugoslavia, yes.
Yes. So we lived very well, wealthy. But we had our house gained from my wife. She gained this apartment in Belgrade. And nothing missed, except I don't see the way that they know my leaders or chiefs of the OKK Belgrade how to make last step to be fourth. That's nothing. Let's on championship. And then I decide, because I have this offer of the Orioles to monetize, take money. Yeah. And then I arrived in Sarajevo because I wasn't there 2 years, and to spend the time after 2 years with my friends, with my ex-players, my team, and then I find there to make a practice with these guys from Bosnia, Sarajevo. How they weren't, nobody of them never played in first division. They were all young, 6, 7 players over 2 meters. In this time, it's not easy to find this so good selection. Then, how I was the attitude, the command in my team there in Belgrade, the chiefs or the president and the general secretary of this club, they discovered that I could be coach of this team, watching the practice when I command there, and they asked Ranko Žerovic how that he thinks. He confirmed it. He said he's born like a coach. Then somebody other, and then one day they called me to tell me, we decide to offer you to be professional coach of the Bosnia Sarajevo. That's first. In this time, it's no more than coach of national team. Ranko Žerovic, a professional. 2, 3, Grk Lečić, no, we call him Lečić, Greek, Lazo Lečić. No, so to connect your life with basketball, definitely.
Λοιπόν,
I was,
yes, coach.
And then I lead all the summer preparation of the team. I forget this, Oriol. Because I saw the players follow me. I command. They made the suicide in the practice. My God damn. And allora, then after certain time, I come back in Sarajevo and start to work in this.
Okay. Λοιπόν, το 1971 ο coach Tanjevic ήταν 24 χρονών και είχε αποφασίσει να φύγει από την ΟΚ Βελιγραδίου, γιατί, όπως μας είπε, ενώ ήταν καλή ομάδα, δεν είχε τα κατάλληλα μέσα για να φτάσει στο πρωτάθλημα. Η ηγεσία της δεν ήταν η καλύτερη, τερμάτισε στην 3η θέση. Και πήγε στην KK Riolik, μια ομάδα που είναι στο Σλαβόσκι Μπροντ. Σλαβόσκι Μπροντ είναι μια πόλη η οποία τότε ήταν στα σύνορα μεταξύ Κροατίας και Βοσνίας. Τη χωρίζει ο ποταμός Σάβα, με το βόρειο τμήμα να ανήκει στην Κροατία και το νότιο στη Βοσνία. Ο λόγος ήταν καθαρά οικονομικός. Ο coach μας είπε ότι του δώσανε μισθό που τότε μπορεί να αγοράσει 2 αυτοκίνητα. Και η σύζυγός του, η οποία ήταν μία από τις καλύτερες παίκτρες στην Ιουγκοσλαβία και διεθνής, του είπε να πάει να υπογράψει στην Οριόλικ. Αλλά πρωτού πάει στην προετοιμασία με την Οριόλικ, πήγε στο Σαράγεβο και πήγε στην προετοιμασία της Μπόσνα, η οποία εκείνη την εποχή ήταν στη 2η κατηγορία. Και δεν πέρασαν μερικές μέρες και του πρότειναν, δεν ξέρω, δεν τον ήταν εξημεροβεργάτης στις κερκίδες, του πρότειναν να αναλάβει την ομάδα. Ζήτησαν τη γνώμη του Ράνκο Ζεράβιτσα και του Λάζαρο Λέσιτς, ο οποίος Λέσιτς παρεπιπτόντως σε εκείνη την εποχή ήταν βοηθός του Ζεράβιτσα στην εθνική ομάδα. Και του είπαν ότι ναι, πρέπει να γίνεις προπονητής. Και έτσι ξεκίνησε η προπονητική καριέρα του coach στα 24 του χρόνια μόλις. So, coach, after you took Bosnia, you begin to build the team.
Yeah.
You asked. I believe that your first player you asked was Fedor Pesic from Partizan.
Yes.
And you had Zarko Varic.
No,
Pavlic, Jelovic.
No, they were already in the team. Varic.
Yes, they were already in the team. Yes.
Yeah, I find him, Djogic, Krvavac, Čečur, Milovic. The guards, they were my age.
And you went and Bruno Soce? You took Bruno Soce?
Bruno Soce, they signed him before I arrived, like the man who is from, let's say, from Mostar, it's close to Sarajevo, who played already for Partizan Belgrade, and he played with me only 1 season. only this season of the second division. And then he stopped to play. And I was every time of this opinion that is the best point guards they born in Serbian basketball, in Belgrade basketball especially. And then I bring the Pešić because he was third in the row. It was Beravs before him, Todorić before him. Žeravica push a lot. These two point guards, they divide time. Pešić was mostly on the bench. And we asked him, Partizan, to give us, to rent him for 1 year to help us. And he was very, very, very important, and maybe the most important player on our qualification for the game against Željezničar Sarajevo, last game, to who goes the first division.
Yes.
He was
He
was the best player. He scored 25 of 65 points. It was 65-59. I played also this game. I made the part.
Yes, I know. Against Željezničar in 28th of April 1972 in Skenderija.
Yeah, that was 28 April
1972.
Yes, that was.
In the same place that 2 weeks before was the premiere of Walter Brand in Sarajevo, right?
I don't remember this fact, but that was this date, 28th April, and that was somehow in my life the most important game. Like
the most important game was this.
Yes, I consider it most important game because the program that we took, this club Bosna, it was so fragile. If he should be missed qualification in first division, I don't know, should be continue. That was the dangerous situation. Okay. And that's because I consider this game like the game of my life.
Λοιπόν, αυτό που ακούμε τώρα, αγαπητοί μας φίλοι, είναι πολύ σημαντικό. Ο coach μας είπε ότι το πιο σημαντικό παιχνίδι της ζωής του, μιλάμε για έναν άνθρωπο που είχε κατακτήσει σχεδόν τα πάντα, έτσι. Δεν είναι ένας τελικός, δεν είναι ένας τίτλος, ένας τελικός Ευρωπαϊκού Πρωταθλήματος, ένας τελικός Κυπέλλου Ευρώπης, αλλά είναι το παιχνίδι της 28 Απριλίου 1972 μεταξύ της Μπόσνα και της Željezničar, που έκρινε την άνοδο στην πρώτη κατηγορία του Ιουγκοσλαβικού Πρωταθλήματος. Γιατί μας είπε ο coach ότι αν έχανε αυτό το παιχνίδι, τίποτα από όσα έχει κάνει στην καριέρα δεν είχε συμβεί.
Και θα σκεφτόταν να παρατήσει επίσης.
Ακριβώς. Coach, I want to tell me what did you say in what did you say to Ize Tanzaikana Delibasic when you traveled to Tuzla and Mirza to convince Mirza not to go to Partizan but come to Bosnia?
No, I never speak about this with Mirza. I spoke about life, about our team, about the guys, presented him how they are great, how they will be strong, how we will win the championship of Yugoslavia. And never ask him. The other part, my great collaborator, General Secretary of Bosnia Sarajevo, he spoke with the parents, with father. About also the transfer, because it was clear we should be not have his license without force majeure. That means to transfer the parents in Sarajevo to find a job or to find a house for them. That father left the job in the lycée of the Tuzla, to find a job in Sarajevo, and to have force majeure when we go on the registration commission, because we didn't have a letter of clearance of Sloboda Tuzla. And that was this letter of clearance, it was already in the pocket of Partizan Belgrade. They obtained 1 year before, and then the chiefs or president of Tuzla, Mirza, he was fourth last year of the lycée. They wanted him to bring him in Belgrade, and they said, "Oh no, leave us here 1 more year. take now letter of clearance, and he will go next year when he finished lycée and everything. And we jump in this hole. This Mirza still 1 year in Sloboda, and but we could be never have a letter of clearance, and that's because we organized my club organized this transfer of the father and mother and brother in Sarajevo to use this argument on the registration commission. And I was speaking, working, following Mirza to make him fall in love with us. Two times we call him to play some friendly games during the season, and one time against one American team, the players, Jim McGregor, who
was an agent.
He was in Italy.
Yeah, he was so many years in Italy, and he was using during the summer, bringing the players from the United States to play summer tournaments during the season also, to find them the job. And so he played 2 years, 2 times for us during this season, and all the guys, they loved him, and he felt fine inside this atmosphere. He felt fine with me. Small gifts, what we could give the gifts. I give him my shoes, new one, shoes that Chosic, great my friend, he bring me from United States. First Converse, leather Converse, yellow with the black star. I never use him already. I didn't play more, but new. And I give him for this one game, and he played in these shoes. On the end, he tried to give me back, and I said, "What I have to do with this? I'm not more player." He was with the Shanghai shoes in this time, Shanghai shoes. So that the small thing, some gift of the to remember this game, also some watch or something like that. I don't remember, but small things of the tenderest, nothing more. And I understand him immediately what kind of the man it's. I saw that it's the man who will bring by own self decision, not mother and father, not mother. No, nobody. And I scared to ask him and to try to speaking about, do you want to play with us? I never. Before he said by own self, we will be tomorrow to sign. That was after the Europe Junior Championship in Zadar in 72, summer 72. We were there. Partizan they were sure that he will be there, that he will come in Belgrade. They didn't know our contacts and everything we did around that. And on the end of the competition, we go together to sleep. His brother, this my Vukalovic, that's my great dirigent, and we go down on the seaside on the salt, and then to turn to the Sarajevo inside. In a certain moment, his brother said, "We will stay now here 7 days to take a summer, some part of the summer, and then we will arrive in Sarajevo to sign." And they arrived after 7 days in Sarajevo to sign. And then it was very complicated situation to be registered there, and the commission bring a decision 3-2. That's that.
Coach, when was the last time that you went to Bari?
When?
To Bari, to Mirza's grave. The last time.
Last time when I was in summer.
Mm-hmm. Was Kinza the best player you ever coached?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Yeah, I coached so many players, great players, but he was a special player, special silence leader leader without speaking too much. He usually didn't speak too much, but he was every time there when you need or when you decide that he is there, or to decide best to score one difficult points, to pass the ball on the right players, to build these. It's not easy to be most loved man when you are first star of the team. That's the most difficult thing, and he knows this way. He joke on speaking, let's say, about his mother. Joking, she was great fun, like mother of Dražen Petrovic, with this shout against everybody except against him. So he should be joke in the locker room about his mother, what she said in the public there. Yelling against Varage, yelling against. But when I miss something, she said, "Poor guy." And so when you go with the story like that, that's winning words. They are winning, joking about mal behavior of the mother, but with love, not. So he was a leader in the team, most loved players. That was that. About from the old other players. Look at it. Also, final game in the Grenoble, our biggest game, Cup of the Champion. He was in so great shape, like Varage also. They shoot both of them 14 out of 20 from the court.
Yes. Varage coach 45 and Mirza 30.
Yeah. But he had a ball. If he would be like to be top scorer, he should be scored 45 easily. He had points in the hands. But Varage should be scored 17, 18, 20, and we should be lose the game.
I remember a story, excuse me, coach.
Yeah.
When they asked Bob Morse back then at the final, I believe he was asked 11 years ago or something by Vladimir Stankovic, the reporter, and he asked Bob Morse. I don't remember where they were, but he asked him, "Do you see that guy? He scored 43 on you." He said, "No, he scored 45." That means he remembered, and Bob Morse
remembers everything.
One of the greatest players to ever come to Europe and play.
Yes.
I also...
Γιώργο, να διαβάσουμε μερικά σχόλια.
Ναι, βέβαια.
Και να υπενθυμίσουμε και το διαγωνισμό μας. Στέλνετε μηνύματα στο site, στην εκπομπή. Διεκδικείτε μια φανέλα και ένα καπέλο basketbook προσφορά σε εταιρεία Nikan. Λοιπόν, για να διαβάσουμε μερικά μηνύματα.
Όχι, άμα θες, τα έχω έτοιμα.
Ναι, τα περισσότερα είναι καλησπέρες.
Είναι καλησπέρα να πούμε την καλησπέρα μας με τη σειρά μας στον Κωνσταντίνο τον Αντωνάκη, στον Κώστα τον Μανολακάκη, τον Αντώνη τον Κρητικό, στη Βάσο τη Σαξόνη.
Και τώρα ερωτήσεις τις οποίες έχουμε σκοπό να τις κάνουμε, απλά τις κάνουμε με τη χρονική σειρά που θα έρθουν.
Βέβαια, να προχωρήσουμε λιγάκι στην Ιταλία.
Κάτσε λίγο, μια τελευταία ερώτηση για την Μπόσνα.
Βέβαια.
Coach, do you remember Grenoble?
Yeah, I remember very well. Including...
What was the preparation you made for, because it was against Varese, it was the most successful team in these years?
In the European history in general, I think.
Yeah, they're 10th time finalist of the, one team, 10 years.
10 times, yes.
Won't.
Yes. But
won't ever do.
After all, I prefer to play against Emerson or Inis, call him or how you want. For me, Inis every time, because
Inis,
yes, true.
Important part of this team. Then against Real Madrid, and somehow it's happened that they arrived in the final game. We were already qualified, and everybody were waiting Real Madrid. The game, home game against Varese, they will win and they will go arrive there. Then they lose by one point. Emerson won, missing 2 free throws, Prada, I think it was. And now it was for me problem. This we have to win. Real Madrid, you could have some discount, let's say, going.
You have won Madrid in the qualification.
I saw the Emerson going slowly out of the best years. So it was me really. I was thinking at least more easy to win against, but also more responsibility to win this game. But somehow I saved the team of the great. I know to speaking before the game to have a good level, to don't overcharge with motivation the team, to make them forgotten for one moment how it's important game, who will win, who will lose, asking only to play good basketball, our rules and defense, that's something. But I remember very well, it was meeting fantastic, giving a small dose of the motivation, but brilliant. And we arrived in the court like the best game of the season. That's when you play the best game on the end in so important moment. That means that is everything perfect. Everything is perfect. And we arrive on the plus 13 at 3 minutes before the game. And then I put down from my shoulder this great weight, and I stopped to leave the team there without usually take all these control, every moment, every pass, everything, waiting only to finish this, to go to smoke. And I was very there in the court. In the court, it was 800 people from Sarajevo arrived there. All the players, everybody, except me. I was already in the tunnel with the cigar.
You know, coach, you are a bit of a special case regarding the Yugoslavian coaches. You gave more freedom to your players than other coaches. Zeravica didn't. Nikolic, not very much. You gave freedom to your players. You know, of course, you would draw plays, but you also trusted is the word. I don't know. You gave them freedom. They could call the play at the same time. You didn't need all the time to draw plays and say, okay, you do this, you do that. You trusted your players. You gave them the freedom. And it's not that it's rare for a Yugoslavian coach. They were known as sergeants who screamed, who yelled, but you weren't like that. Okay, you screamed,
Yeah.
but you trusted them. You gave them the freedom.
That's right. That's correct. I think it's the most important thing of all in coaching one team, the players and everything, to know how to don't cut them the wings, because the players, they have to fly. You have to support fly, and there is no possibility to control to win something important by the coach from the court. But the players, they will win the game. How I can imagine it? Imagine it, Varage to score 45 points final game. I cannot imagine it before the game. I lived this, that's happened. I was only following his first shoot, how he take first shoot, or good or badly. And I know he will play great game. I was directly behind him, directly in the line of to the basket. And when I saw him how he takes first jumper, it wasn't long distance, maybe 4 or 5 meters front of me. I said, this game we will win, because I didn't scare about other Radovanovic, Dalibash. I scared about Varage, because he was so much connected with these first moves, first to score, to play good, excellent, or sometimes bad game. That's one thing. And then I believe that the players, that the coaches, they have to give the wins on the players, not to cut them. That's first all my life, because I know that I never can knows why one player feels so good that the basket looks like 3 meters large. I know myself. I know how much I fight with this shoot and with everything. And I understand the player. They have the great talent of the shoot that they sometimes even shooting without reason. I ask him every time one thing only, to take a shoot that they all players accept that you will shoot because it's logic, because you are no fade away, please, no fade away. You take me one good shoot face to the basket, and then I ask every player from my first day, when you are free, 4 or 5 minutes shoot, no more set play. No more set play. We playing everything to arrive on good shoot of 4, 5, 6, 7 meters. So no more. So I give them every time I push them to this to fly, to shoot. So then I let's say building the team. I build the game with 80 possession, 85. That's because of that. There's so much balls of the disposition of my players to participate, to take the shoot, to improve. That's simple. That's logic of the things. That's logic. And then asking every time more and more attention for the defense, effort in defense. That's first request. And all other in the offense, you can even out of the set play decide to shoot because you believe that it's good position. I believe because you took the shoot in the equilibrium, not falling on the behind of the head. And all your teammates know that you're taking shoots, so they are ready to go second, third offense, playing on the ring with the offense rebound and everything. So simple things all my life. But all time support on the players to believe them. And when they feel that you believe them, they growing. They believe more. How they said, how self-confidence, first of all, and that's love. They give you love because.
Coach, I think I need to translate that. I'm sorry because that's.
Από αυτό που είπε τώρα ο coach, καταλάβαμε γιατί έγινε ο Bogdan Tanjevic.
Και όχι μόνο. Να πούμε κάτι, ότι είναι λίγο σπάνιο για έναν προπονητή Ιουγκοσλάβο αυτό. Ειδικά σε εκείνη την εποχή. Σκέψου λίγο.
Κάνεις μετάφραση.
Ζεράβιτσα, βεβαίως. Αυτό που λέει ουσιαστικά ο coach Tanjevic ήταν λίγο διαφορετικός από τους προπονητές του Ιουγκοσλάβου της εποχής. Αν το σκεφτούμε λιγάκι, οι Ιουγκοσλάβοι διαχρονικά, η Ιουγκοσλαβική σχολή στηρίζεται πολύ στο σετ παιχνίδι. Όχι ότι δεν άρεσε στον coach Tanjevic. Ο coach Tanjevic και αυτός έδινε πολύ μεγάλη έμφαση, ας πούμε, στην άμυνα. Έλεγε ότι οτιδήποτε και να κάνετε, θα δίνετε έμφαση στην άμυνα. Αλλά από εκεί και πέρα, τους έδινε το ελεύθερο. Λέει ότι δεν ήθελε να τους κόψει τα φτερά. Ήθελε οι παίκτες του να αποκτήσουν αυτοπεποίθηση στο σουτ. Και λέει ότι αν πάρεις ένα σουτ που μπορεί να φαίνεται εκτός λογικής, αν εσύ πιστεύεις ότι θα το βάλεις, τότε το πιστεύω και εγώ μαζί σου.
Ας είναι και από τα 7 μέτρα.
Και ας είναι και από τα 7 μέτρα. Αυτό μπορεί να μας φαίνεται, νομίζω, τρελό εν προκειμένου. Γιατί, όπως ο Αντρέας θα ξέρει καλύτερα και από μένα, ήταν κάτι κόντρα στη λογική των Μπλάβη εκείνης της εποχής.
Εμπιστοσύνη στους παίκτες του όμως και οι παίκτες του τον αγάπησαν.
Ακριβώς. And just to add to what you said, imagine telling Oscar Smith, Oscar, don't shoot that much. I don't think he would accept.
One time I told him, look at him, the ball here behind him. Look at number 14 on the ball. Do you see the ball here on my behind?
Yes.
Yeah, he did that when we were together in 2019, the World Championship. So one time I shouted him, God damn, stop it. And he told me, Coach, I feel the basket so large. He showed me. Okay, I said, that's that. He was fantastic man.
You saw him first time against Syria, I believe, in 1979.
Directly, I saw him in the 78 World Championship, Brazil, Yugoslavia, game Manila.
You fell in love with him?
Yeah, and then I find him in 79, this Intercontinental Cup there, and that was I never saw before, not even after. I will tell you one thing. I never saw the player crying and shooting and scoring, crying and calling other guys of Syria to play a pressing, because we control this game totally from first minute to the last five minutes plus 10. Every time 10 for us. And we played better game probably than final Europe in the Grenoble. Better game. Fantastic. And we won 4 games before all the teams, and they lose against the American team. So, but who win is a champion because of the direct result. And in certain moment, he started crying in the court, crying, shouting, pressing. In every ball he took in the offense, falling down behind, because over Varage, it's not easy to take a good shooter. Varage in full shape and everything, same size, but more athletic in a certain sense, the Varage, more like a dog. He has 93 kilos, 2'3", only muscles. Then I have Jokic to spend, who is also, he was a national player, 2 meter, but with long arms, great defender. I spend them all 44 on the end. 44, including 4 out of 4 in the overtime. And also the last rebound he took 2 seconds before we pushed the ball on the left side of the offense, right side of the defense, all the 2 Americans and the Marquinhos. With the ball there to protect the ball arrived on his right side of the offense, left side of the defense. So he's on the weak side with Varage, and they had to finish the offense with the shoot, forced shoot, American point guard. And he took over Varage, who is also a jumper, excellent jumper, on the weak side. And he made a fake, and Varage made a foul, and they call for 2 seconds before they call timeout. I give him another timeout to think about. I was thinking I played psychology game against him, to prepare last shoot 2 seconds before. If he score, and it give him time to scare, to say, oh, if I miss, but he scored both. Then Mirza Delbash, like we decide, took the hawk shot from the free throw line, our free throw line, and he missed for 1 centimeter. He was perfect. And then in overtime, Oscar scored 4 against 4, and they won this. And then that was something I never saw before. To crying. I saw the player crying in the court. That's sentiment. Oscar is full of the sentiments. He's all so tender, like a man, so fantastic, man. Also bringing in the arms Mirza Delbash when he was when he had the infarct of the brain in Caserta, 83, 5th September 83. He bring him from the 3rd floor on the hotel in the arms, crying like a child. We bring him after in hospital. And he was only player, Mirza Delbash, who was in his saying by the Oscar, the better player than him. Oscar never recognized nobody to be better player except Mirza Delbash. Can you imagine?
Wow.
What lose like possibility if Mirza didn't have
Mirza, coach, if Mirza hadn't suffered a stroke and played along with Oscar and Caserta, what could we see?
We win 7 championships consecutive, including also Cup of the Champions, because we playing with Mirza without shape. First month of preparation, more than 1 month, playing the tournaments. Let's say Duke with these Krzyzewski and Alary, Joy Bilas, Dawkins. They were all immediately after in the NBA. We beat them easily with Mirza in 50% of the shape. He had the announcement of this fact, of this, in fact, he will leaving. Because
imagine if he was at 100%.
only staying in the court, you are super because golden touch. I call that golden touch. Excuse me.
Και για τον Οσκάρ που είπε ο coach και για τον Μίρζα, εντάξει, να πείσεις αυτά που είπε.
Ο Όσκαρ είναι ένας από τους αγαπημένους παίκτες του coach, το ξέραμε αυτό, νομίζω ότι το γνωρίζουμε, αλλά είπε κάτι το οποίο μας εξέπληξε και εμένα και τον Αντρέα. Γενικά ο Όσκαρ το ξέρουμε ότι ήταν λιγάκι, όπως είπε, sentimental, ήταν συναισθηματίας, λειτουργούσε με βάση το συναίσθημα, δεν είχε δει άλλον άνθρωπο να κλαίει την ώρα που σουτάρει και να πιέζει όλη την ομάδα να παίξει άμυνα. Μιλάει για το τελικό του διπυρωτικού του 79. Πώς να εναντίον Σύριο.
Είχε 44 πόντους απέναντι στο Ζάρκο Βαράιτς, ο οποίος ήταν 2-3-93 κιλά. Ίδια κοψιά με τον Οσκάρ. Αλλά ο Όσκαρ πέτυχε 44 πόντους και μάλιστα πέτυχε 4-4 στην παράταση.
Ακριβώς. Όχι, καλά κάνεις. Και είπε το εξής. Γενικά ο Όσκαρ δεν θεωρούσε κανέναν παίκτη, είτε Ευρωπαίο είτε Αμερικανό, καλύτερο. Θεωρούσε ότι ήταν ο καλύτερος. Και ειδικά στο σκοράρισμα. Εκτός ενός παίκτη, του Μίρζα Ντελίμπασιτς. Και μας είπε κάτι ότι το 83-84 ο Μίρζα...
Βασικά ρώσα τον coach τι θα βλέπαμε αν ο Μίρζα το 83 δεν πάθαινε το κεφαλικό.
7 συνεχόμενα πρωταθλήματα.
Και θα έπαιζε μαζί με τον Οσκάρ. Και ο coach μας είπε ότι θα πέρανε 7 συνεχόμενα πρωταθλήματα συν το Ευρωπαϊκό. Γιατί ο Μίρζα την περίοδο που ήρθε στην Γκαζέτα, που πήγε στην Γκαζέτα, ήταν στο 50% της φόρμας. Ναι. Και ούτε καν. Και παίξανε με αμερικάνικα κολέγια, παίξανε με τον Duke, του Μάικ Ζεύσκι και διάφορα άλλα. Και τους έκανε πλάκα ο Μίρζα. Και ήταν στο 50% της φόρμας.
Λοιπόν, πριν συνεχίσουμε, πιστεύω ότι πρέπει να διαβάσουμε κάποια ακόμα σχόλια.
Ναι, Γιώργο.
Κώστα, την ερώτηση σου θα την κάνω σε λιγάκι. Γιατί την έχουμε κάνει και εμείς.
Γιώργο, αν μπορείς, κάνει την ερώτηση του Γιώργου του Σίμου, αφού υπενθυμίσουμε πρώτα ξανά τον διαγωνισμό μας.
Ναι.
Ένα καπέλο και μια φανέλα της εταιρείας basketball της εταιρείας Nikan. Αφήνετε τα σχόλιά σας, μπαίνετε στο διαγωνισμό και αν μπορείς, παρακαλώ, κάνει την ερώτηση του Γιώργου του Σίμου.
Βεβαίως. We are reading some comments, coach, and one of them is a very good question. Eurobasket 1981. Yugoslavia plays amazing basketball against Spain in the semifinals. Though against the Soviet Union, she was looking a bit tired. That she couldn't play the basketball. And the question is that, was it because of the previous match that the team couldn't play as well, felt like tired in the final against the Soviets?
No, that was a problem more simple. We were without our centers, Žižić and Jerko. They had a size. And then I called Ćosić to help me. He was already old man with 33 years. He was consumed the player, and he didn't have great energy for the big games and everything. And that's one thing. Other thing, I changed 5 players from the Olympic Games, bringing inside 5 young 20 years old guys, average 20 years. And these first 7 players, Mirza, I try to promote the Vilfan in the first point guard. That's because I didn't call Slavnic, who was a really chief player in the national team, the best years. He's a great point guard. But the Vilfan had something that I never saw before, not after in Yugoslavian basketball. He was so quick and so great talent. So let's say the guy, 18-year-old, who scored 44 points playing for Jugoplastica against Maccabi in the Cup of the Championship. 44 points, but not only. He drive inside on the end of the game and dunk behind the head with 2 hands in the drive. You never saw before. We never had that. So I decided to open the space for him, believing that he's a future new chief of the national team. And decision who will play starting 5 in the final game against Russian. they change. Vilfan, all 9 games, he started like he started 5 Dalipagic every time. And I change Mirza Delibash and Kicanovic, who will start. One, let's say 4, 5 they played. Last game I choose Mirza on the bench, Kicha on the, and I didn't recognize that Kicha was already under the, let's say, first time he find a man who don't respect him. It was this Walters, new face on the basketball Europe. 24 years, was fantastic. And he was leader player, him and Mishkin. So I didn't recognize how much fall down with moral Kicanovic. From the first game we play in the group, we lose. So I put in the duel Vilfan, because his quickness, his dedication of the every minute to play against the Walters, to kill him and to liberate Kicanovic of this small complex. I recognize small complex from the first game. Probably I should be make better than starting with Mirza Delibash. Probably with Vilfan. That was my fault. In between, Mirza Delibash now feel, I saw his face, feel bad. Don't with this, usually his participation with the heart. So I missed double. I made two great mistakes in this game. And I lose him a little bit, Mirza, for this final game. Kicanovic so. Vilfan, he took the Walters in the 3rd offense foul, but the Walters was already star on the championship, and they didn't call him. And when Mirza arrived, 2 fouls, Walters, that should be 3rd, the most important player of the Soviet Union. I find the Mirza not ready when he arrived in the game, not with desire in the eyes. I missed these tall guys to fight with Belosteni, with these big guys behind. That's big part of this. Finally, it's mine.
Δεν είναι εύκολο αυτό που κάνει ο coach τώρα. Παραδέχεται το λάθος του. Και μιλάμε για τελικό ευρωπαϊκό πρωταθλήματο. Λοιπόν, αυτό που μας είπε ο coach αρχικά είναι ότι δεν είχε ψηλώσει εκείνη την εποχή, αφού ο Ζίζιτς και ο Γέρκοφ ήταν τραυματίες, και κάλεσε τον Κρέζι Μιτσόσιτς, ο οποίος μόλις ήταν ήδη 32 χρονών. Δεν ήταν στην καλύτερη φόρμα της καριέρας. Και μετά δεν κάλεσε τον Μόκα Σλάβνιτς, τον καλύτερο playmaker τον Πλάβη, αλλά στη θέση του κάλεσε τον Πίτερ Βίλφαν, ο οποίος είχε κάνει ντεμπούτο με την γλυκοπλάστικα 18 χρονών και είχε πετύχει 44 πόντους εναντίον του Μακάμπι. Και ήταν όντως ένας τρομερός point για τον Βίλφαν, καλώς θυμούνται, που έπαιζε γλυκοπλάστικα. Και αποφάσισε να ξεκινήσει στο τελικό το Βίλφαν και τον Κιτσάνοβιτς εναντίον του Βάλτερς, ο οποίος Βάλτερς ήταν και ο MVP του Eurobasket του 1981. Ο coach όμως με αυτή την απόφαση ουσιαστικά έχασε το Delibasic. Γιατί ο Μίρζα όταν μπήκε στον αγώνα δεν ήταν στην καλύτερη διάθεση, δεν είχε την κατάλληλη ψυχολογία. Ο Βάλτερς έκανε τρομερό παιχνίδι απέναντι στο Βίλφαν και απέναντι στο Κιτσάνοβιτς. Και όταν αποβλήθηκε ο Βίλφαν, μπήκε μέσα ο Delibasic, ο οποίος όμως δεν είχε την κατάλληλη ψυχολογία. Και έτσι η Σοβιετική Ένωση επικράτησε, όπως επίσης επικράτησε και στους ψηλούς, με τον Μπελεστένιν, τον Μίσκιν και τον Κατσέκο εναντίον των Ιουγκοσλάβων. Γιώργο, θες να συνεχίσεις?
Νομίζω ότι πρέπει να κάνουμε και άλλη μια ερώτηση του Μανώλη του Καϊάφα, ο οποίος, γιατί νομίζω ότι ο χρόνος λίγο μας πιέζει, οπότε θα πρέπει λίγο να συνδέσουμε όλα αυτά.
Ας την κάνουμε μετά του Μανώλη, γιατί είναι αρκετά μεγάλη.
Ναι, ισχύει και αυτό.
Απλά θέλω να ρωτήσω κάτι τον coach.
Βεβαίως.
Coach, in the final in 91 in Eurobasket in Rome, you were in Palaeur. You were there?
No, I was in hospital in this time. I was with another problem. I had a big one in 91. I was in hospital of with the doubt about the cancer of the pulmon, the breast, in Slovenia, and I didn't watch all the games. I was really, and that was a time of the start of our disaster, of the war.
Coach, do you miss Yugoslavia? You have said that you were born since Yugoslavia does not exist anymore. You have no country, and you have said that you were born Yugoslavian.
Yes.
You feel Yugoslavian,
Yes.
and you will always be Yugoslavian.
Yes, and that was probably the worst time in my life. These days, and I feel still today same pain. Still today same pain. They are not same. More, never be more after same. Not similar, not same. We are not similar. Of big country we were one time. Big country in every sense. That's that. And that's happened that I'm in the hospital. And the start, when they leave me out of the hospital, they prepare the hospitals for the eventually war in really sense in Slovenia. And they give me condemn, doubt of the cancer of the pulmon. We will call you to open you, but the best operator is now busy. We'll call you. But I think they were thinking about big consequence of this decision. It was the night of the decision to make independent state Slovenia. Everybody, including Slovenia, they were thinking that the army will take the power and close the country.
I ask you to forgive me because I made you sad with that question.
Yes, that's true.
I ask for your forgiveness. I ask for your forgiveness. I'm sorry.
Yes, we are sorry for. We didn't want you to make sad or to think back all these bad times.
Nobody,
we know it's hard.
Nobody can save me of this pain. I told you, still today.
Λοιπόν, ρώτησα τον coach για μια οδυνηρή στιγμή της ζωής του. Το ρώτησα αν το τελικό του Ευρωμπάσκετ 91 ήταν στο γήπεδο. Μου απάντησε όχι, γιατί νοσηλευόταν εκείνη την περίοδο στο νοσοκομείο της Σλοβενίας λόγω της ασθένειας που αντιμετώπιζε. Και το ρώτησα αν του λείπει η Γιουγκοσλαβία. Γιατί ο coach Tanjevic έχει κάνει μια δήλωση ότι από τη στιγμή που η Γιουγκοσλαβία δεν υπάρχει πια σαν χώρα, αυτός δεν έχει πατρίδα. Και έχει πει πως εγώ γεννήθηκα Γιουγκοσλάβος, είμαι Γιουγκοσλάβος και θα πεθάνω Γιουγκοσλάβο. Ο coach μας είπε ότι τον πονάει πολύ αυτό, ότι η πατρίδα του διαλύθηκε και μας είπε χαρακτηριστικά ότι όταν νοσηλευόταν στο νοσοκομείο έβλεπε τις προετοιμασίες για τον πόλεμο που ερχόταν, γιατί το νοσοκομείο θα επιστρατευόταν για τους τραυματίες του πολέμου. Και του είπαν ότι όταν του δώσαν εξιτήριο ότι θα κάναν ακόμα καλύτερα για αυτόν ό,τι μπορούσαν, αλλά οι καλύτεροι τους γιατροί είχαν ήδη πάει προς το μέτωπο για να περιθάλψουν τους τραυματίες. Και ζήτησα συγγνώμη από τον coach για αυτή την ερώτηση, γιατί καταλαβαίνω ότι τον έφερα σε δύσκολη θέση και τον πονάει πολύ αυτό. Γιώργο, θα συνεχίσεις?
Λοιπόν, ο κόσμος μας στέλνει ερωτήσεις συνεχώς και είναι όλες ερωτήσεις τόσο καλές, ξέρεις.
Να ρωτήσω τον coach αυτό που λέγει τον Dejan. Coach, when Kreso called you and told you about Dejan Bodiroga, is that right?
No, he arrived to see me with the brother of Bodiroga together.
Mm-hmm.
Misho Starcevic is a great friend of ex-basketball player of Zadar. Mm-hmm. And they were in three, and one tournament we played that was preparation for the championship in Lignano. Mm-hmm. So how we were, it's not enough to say great friends, Kresho and me. He told me, he arrived, he said, Vecho, Stari, how we can translate in this hour. old man, like I said, hey man, old man, you have to take this guy, Bodiroga, because he cannot stay more than Zadar, not because of us, but because of other people, you know. I said, Kresho, how you think that I have to take him? That's one thing that I never forget. I wasn't honest with Kresho, because if it was something what I desired in this moment, to have this guy in my court to play with me, because I go maybe 1 month before this meeting to Istria. Istria was a quiet part of the Croatia, and already starts the war there in Vukovar on the east side of Croatia, and there is still somehow civil life. Some tournament I go to see him, because I wrote in the Italian newspaper from World Junior Championship of Canada. There is the guy who is the new Magic Johnson, 2'5" playing point guard, and that was my desire all my life, to have point guard 2'5". So I go there to watch one game, and I saw that it's true. I saw the guy who command Zadar with the Komazets on the right side, who follow him. He command. God,
One comments, yes.
I said, you know, this desire, like when I saw Mirza Delbash first time, same desire, same feeling.
Did you call him the White Magic also? Did you call him the White Magic also?
The White Magic.
Did you call him the White Magic?
Listen, and now, not more than 15 days after I saw him first time there in Istria, there is my friend Kresho. and I told him, oh, you know that we have only sold only 2 players for the foreign players. How you think that I shame still today for this. I play my friend, great friend. And now it was only decision. Okay, I said, okay, I will talk to him. I have to speak with Stefan, with the owner. And I had to convince Stefan, but he believed me in everything. And that's the start of the story with whatever.
What were the reactions in Italy that you took as a foreign player an unknown 18-year-old player? They called you crazy.
Yeah, but you know, they know me already with the Caserta. Caserta Gentile, I put him on the captain of the team 18 when he was 18. And 16, he played 22 minutes average and played every time well. And he was the captain of the Oscar Schmidt, Nando Gentile. So nobody is surprised.
Coach,
I think Dell'Agnello was young.
I have read a story.
Dell'Agnello Dell'Agnello took him like a center, and he played on the guard forward. He was a center when I took him from Livorno.
I've read a story that when Dejan came to Trieste, in the practices and some matches, in the first 5 minutes, he was not shooting, he was not doing anything. And you asked him, Dejan, why you're not shooting in the first 5 minutes of the game? And he told you, Coach, on the first 5 minutes, I watch my teammates, my opponents, how they move on the court. Is that true?
Something like that. But first of all, he had a great defect. He would be like to shoot 100%. Then I thought, hey, there. Even Michael Jordan doesn't shoot 100%. You can miss first 3 shots, but probably after the next 3, you will score. He should wait 6-7 minutes before he take first shoot. Has to be perfect. Has to be perfect execution. Everything has to be perfect. But generally, so practically, his career is gone. For me, missed after the time, first 2 years in Caserta. He played all the time exclusively point guard. Then my president decided to take Gentile. to sign Gentile even without asking me. Because when he should be speak with me what we will do next year, who we will, how we will reinforce the team, how you can reinforce the team with Italian players, 10 Italian players and 2 foreign players. So usually you can make some step ahead, bringing some Italian. I told him many times, in Italy nobody is somebody who could be help us. There is only one player who made the difference in Italy, Italian, it's Gentile. I never asked him. One day he called me to tell me that. And then in this moment, I lose probably 1 year of the growing of the team because it wasn't clear who is the chief player, him or Body. Then cannot play on the side. He has to play with the ball. So Bodiroga on the side, guard, forward, but never forward center, never. That's the attitude of my colleagues after. They want everything, putting Bodiroga with the back on the basket to making these fantastic fakes and to score the most important moment. I never use him because of the basketball, only like for guard, forward, point guard. Yeah. So that was, so in certain moments when I was already on the end of my permanence there, Gentile recognized who is chief. That final game against Fortitudo, who he put pass him the ball and he called 4 down. That means 1-on-1. That was third game in Bologna, and it was 1-1. And Dan tried end of the first half time against Piluti, my ex-player, who is the best defensive player of Fortitudo. He missed, but end of the game, Gentile repeat, give the ball him and call 4 down to play, and he scored the most important basket. And fourth game, we didn't play. They gave up. But it was time to go because we lived last year, Stefan and me, in 2 different beds. He slept one without saying nothing, and I'm sorry because we should be make immediately after Cup of the Champion because we were something I believe that ideologically connected team, that ideology, and that's only the next steps should be Cup of the Champion. Maybe with one modest good player who don't broke the balls more, but the destiny it was that I go.
Γιώργο, πού πήγε μετά, Βιλερμπάν, μόλις πήγε.
Θέλω να πω για το Μιλάνο κάτι.
Ναι, βεβαίως.
Γιατί ρωτάει και ο Μανώλης πάνω σε αυτό και νομίζω έχει πάρα πολύ ωραία ερώτηση. Coach, a good friend of our page and I think he's living in Italy. Δεν μένει στην Ιταλία όντως. Μένει.
Νομίζω, ναι.
He wanted to ask you something.
Yeah.
About Efes, about the final against Efes, when Flavio Portalupi was a great he was a great 3-point shooter, by the way. Anyway, he shot the ball very hastily, and Gentile was angry. And he also asks, what did you tell the players when you were up by 5, when you have lost by 8 in Turkey, and how Flavio took the shot when Dejan Bodiroga, Gentile, and Rolando Blackman were on the court? He wanted to ask that.
But that's my side. That wasn't prepared in the timeout. That's the rule. Who will take a shot? Not you, Bodiroga, not you, Blackman, not you, because you cannot prepare for one player if defense doesn't like. Who will shoot this shot? What I ask every time on all the players, if you are free, if you see good basketball, if the other guys know that you go to take a shot, shoot, no more set play. That's that. That's happened that. So he was free to take a shot, and that's his job to score, to take a shot. We lose practically the game in Istanbul, being -4 and playing excellent 1-3-1 to arrive in this good result. And on the end, somehow we lose 8 points. That was already different game. Then they had in this time great Naumovsky, who can lead and score, lead the team and score. They had excellent young player, Mirsad Yahovic, Turkcan, who made 13 rebounds. He was animal, like fighter, great fighter. And we didn't play enough good because my two players, we were in Hotel Marmara on the Taksim after the game. They goes out with the clothes they weren't for the snow, for the only one, let's say, overload easy for the time in Italy. It was day of the snow and the cold, and they took both of them. They were sick days before the return with the temperature and everything. And Fuchka already is somebody who has 22, 25 autonomy of the energy to play the game in full with his full talent and intensity. He play how he play in intensity because of his problem of the heart of his. But when you have also Fuchka who was sick and Rolando was sick, to these players, we didn't have enough energy to kill the game in defense and to don't depend of the shoot of the portal. Oh, that's that.
Νομίζω ο Μανώλης σου απάντησε ότι έδωσε μια πολύ ωραία απάντηση, ότι ήταν άρρωστοι οι παίκτες από το κρύο στην Κωνσταντινούπολη. Δηλαδή, το σημαντικό ήταν η άμυνα. Ότι αυτό το παιχνίδι δεν θα έπρεπε να πάει στο σουτ του Πορταλούπη. Δηλαδή, απλά ήταν άρρωστοι. Ήταν ο Φούτσκα, ήταν ο Ρολάντο Μπλάκμαν, οπότε δεν μπόρεσαν. Coach, now we are going, I believe, to one of your best choices and one of the best choices in all European history. 1999, you are in Italy and you decide something, you took a decision that it's historical in my... You decided to rule out Gianmarco Pozzecco from the European National Championship. Before I continue, you know better than us that Gianmarco Pozzecco in 1999, when he won the Serie A, he was probably, I'm going to say it, maybe the best or one of the best point guards in Europe. And yet, you took the decision, you know what? You stay out. Pots, how did you, and is it true also that there was a story between Davide Bonora and Gianmarco? How did you take such a decision? And you won the championship.
It's happened at the Acropolis tournament. Yeah. In my opinion, my first point guard is Andrea Meneghin. That's because he's born like he's same kind of the player like Mirza Delbash, same kind, athlete. And do you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you.
No, that's somebody who called me over the.
So, that's okay.
So now we can see. Andrea Meneghin, before the national Italian, he was forward, playing everywhere, called like a forward. I recognize that he's born point guard because he had altruism, first of all. Altruism, no. capacity to bring the ball ahead, to command, and to excellent passer. The man not selfish, so altruist, first order. Then athlete. I have somebody who is athlete more. When you have point guard 2 meter and with these athletic skills, you are stronger and stronger. And so my idea it was to use the Pocheco for the sometime for the revolution. If you go badly, he will go inside. He will bring you heart, quickness, courage. I like him like a player, but not to be first star. The first star for me cannot be Pocheco. The first star can be Andrea, can be Carlton Myers, can be Fuchka or somebody other. They are Europe level players. Yeah. So I didn't decide that like somebody who is prepared to do this thing. No, it's happened in the game. We lose first game in Acropolis against Greece. I think we played. And then the second game, I was already a little bit shaking. You know, you don't like to lose, never. And so I prepared the second game against Russia to fight, to recall the confidence of the team. And we were already plus 20. I don't preview to be plus 20 after 15 minutes. When I call him to come inside, he put the nose down like that. Somehow to show me that it's unsatisfied and everything. So
υπέπεσε πειθαρχικό, Γιώργο.
After the game, I told him, Potts, small guest like that, you have to go. And he go. I told him, he's a good guy. I like him. We are friends now. We're not now. We are immediately after friends because he's a good guy. But it's not possible to take nobody inside the team who destroyed atmosphere of the love between 12 players. Because when you go inside or outside with this type of the humor, with the nose down, you make against your colleague, your friend who arrive on your place or who goes out. Yeah, because simple conclusion. That's to destroy inside atmosphere of the team. That's not because I like him. I like type of the game, everything, but especially the situation he played. Should have his theater. He's a little bit folklore also, but I should be giving. Now I have one guy who called me 7 times. I hope.
Yeah.
But that's famous, the most famous movie actor, Emir Hadjiafizbegovic, who is from Sarajevo, and he insists. I close him, he insists. I don't know what to do.
Don't worry, coach. We will be ending soon. No, we won't take you much more time. Don't worry. Let me translate for a bit. By the way, we can't see you.
Can I interrupt one moment?
Yes. Let me translate as long as you fix your camera.
Υπέπεσε πειθαρχικό ο Ποτσέκο. Του έκανε μούτρα, όπως καταλάβαμε.
Αυτό και νομίζω ότι είπε και κάτι άλλο.
Είπε ότι προτιμούσε τον Αντρέα Μενεγκίν γιατί του θυμίζει στο στυλ του Δελίμπασης, γιατί ήταν πιο αθλητικός ο Μενεγκίν, ήταν πιο οργανωτικός, ήταν πιο αλτρουιστής μέσα στο γήπεδο.
Νομίζω ότι το ξεχνάμε, γιατί γενικότερα...
Ενώ ο Ποτζέκο ήταν πιο ατομιστής και όλα έγιναν στο τουρνουά Ακρόπολης, έτσι. Όταν έπαιξε με την Εθνική,
ναι.
Το πρώτο ξεκίνησε τον Ποτζέκο, δεν τα πήγε καλά. Ο Ποτζέκο και στο δεύτερο έβαλε το Μενεγκίν και ο Ποτζέκο στον πάγκο και όταν του είπε να μπει μέσα, ο Ποτζέκο έκανε μούτρα. Και μετά στα αποδυτήρια ο Τάνιεβιτς είπε τελείωσε. Αυτά τα πράγματα, προπονητές σαν τον coach δεν τα δέχονται.
Ισχύει, απλά
μούτρα τώρα από τον Ποτσέκο και από τον κάθε Ποτσέκο.
Εντάξει, πέρα από αυτό, νομίζω ότι αυτό που θέλω να καταλήξω πριν συνεχίσουμε είναι ότι πολλές φορές ξεχνάμε στην Ελλάδα τι εστί Ανδρέα Μενική είναι το 1999. Γιατί ο ίδιος είπε ότι του θύμιζε το Μίρζα. Ήταν ένας παίκτης τόσο... Ήταν και Mr. Europa, έτσι, και δεν ήταν τυχαία.
Ναι.
Ήταν ο καλύτερος παίκτης της χρονιάς για εμένα.
Ναι. Γιώργο, θες να ρωτήσεις, να κάνεις την ερώτηση του Χρήστου για την Τουρκία για να κλείσουμε σιγά-σιγά, για να μην κουράζουμε το κόσμο.
Ακριβώς. Coach, one final question from me, and then we will let you free.
Have one question also.
You know, we've said since the beginning that wherever you go, you left your mark, you left some history behind. The same goes with Turkey. You were there when the great history of our neighbors began. You had some of the greatest players there. You had Turkoglu, you had Turksan, Peker, Kutluay, Güler, Onan, the list goes on. You had so many great players. And our fellow co-worker in basketball asks about the Turkish Basketball Federation development program. How come the Turks develop so many great players? And you know, we are still looking some players like Alperen Şengün, Ömer Yurtseven. There are great generations coming ahead. What did the Turks did so well? Yeah. And they are producing players and they are going very well in the youth tournaments.
What I want to tell you, I made also there to continue about Potseko case. I had one day in 2006 before the World Championship, Hidayet Turkoglu and Mehmet Okur. They arrived in the office to ask me, can they jump first 15 days of the preparation? That's the best part that I love more than all others in the mountain. I said no. And then they insist. I said no. And I said, okay, go out. No, you will not play. So they didn't play 2006 World Championship. They were 27-year-old guy. They were $10 million paid. They were starting 5 both teams, one in Orlando, one in that's first year of Orlando of Hidayet Turkoglu, and that Mehmet Okur in Utah. So that's not only one time. I said, okay, I could be making the shape in 30 days, but what should be remain 32 days of preparation, I'm sure. But I don't like atmosphere like that. What they are other guys to go to make a practice. I did everything same with all the last my Europe Championship in Turkey 2001. I lived out of the team Carlo Myers because of same reason. He asked me 15 days. I said no. He didn't play. Abio, he didn't play. To the best guards, I played without them. And so every time I behave like that. First of all, because Mirza Delbesh never joked with me. So I'm in debt with Mirza Delbesh, with Žarko Varić, with all these guys. They play the basketball without money, for the love. That somebody of these rich fucking players can take for the S, my dick. So even I love them all. The same. But that's principle. You have to have the principle in the life. You have to die with what we call in Turkey halal. Halal. That is everything. Let's say we perdonare, Italiano perdonare, perdono. How is in English? I don't know. So that's what I told you now regarding Potseko. He's not knee of the Carlton Myers. He's not knee of the Abio. He's not knee of the Okur, and that was same behavior. Same behavior. You have to have principle and respect your other players. If you don't respect all 12 players, it's better. I never shot on the 12th players or 11th players on 10 players. I shot on the Mirza Delibes. I took him for the leg, first him. With all others, with Carlton Myers, calling him fucking rich player when he said, and he loves me. I love him. So it's necessary to be honest with the players in the face. If you don't tell him in the face, don't tell nobody other, but in the face. And when you're doing like that, you have love with your players. We love each other. All my players and me, including Potseko, we love each other. And that's my goal. That's the biggest satisfaction of my life, coaching life. It's the respect and the love of my players. Because
this is what matters in the end, I think. This is what matters, really.
Yes, that's only one thing. You have to die. If you have to die, you have to go with a good faith. Good faith. So
anyway,
the Turkish basketball, they grow.
Yes, you know,
they start to grow with in 92 when they choose Turgay Demirel for the president. The Turgay Demirel choose my player from Bosnia Sarajevo, Izic, for the chief of all junior program, and they build so great basketball without money, without nothing. They arrived to be, when they call me that I adjust a little bit, let's say, window of the Maaza, the Turkish, they said Maaza store. Yeah, that means the first senior team. But the most important work, it was building this junior selection. Let's say Izic, he built all this generation. Turkoglu, Mehmet Okur, Omer Ronan, Tunjeri. In 5 years, he lead them from 14 to the 19 years. And then he built another generation of the semi-hardened, these guys.
Ogiu Savaz.
Cenk, Akiol, all these 8, 6, 7 generation, and I combined 2 generations. Only 3 players from 79, 4 players, and all other 86, 87. And we were fresh, prepared to play this great competition and great kind. We played excellent. But there is, let's say, from this time, also the Turkish clubs, they start to play a little bit more high tempo, 10 players, more Turkish players. Then we had good rules to play two Turkish players in the court every moment of the game. That was very important. Now, when they don't have these more rule already 7, 8, 10 years, they are not same strong like before. So That's shortly about Turkish basketball. However, you can see so many Turkish players now and so many clubs that are working well, so many young players, and I like that. I'm fan of Fenerbahce because I was there also.
And I think they love you there in Turkey. They love you very much.
I love them also.
Γιώργο, θέλω να μεταφράσει για να κάνω μια τελευταία ερώτηση στον coach.
Βεβαίως. Let me translate one final question from Andreas and then we will end our show.
Okay.
Γενικότερα, ο coach προσπάθησε να συνδυάσει δύο γενιές. Τη γενιά του Τουρκόγλου, του Τουρκσάν, του Κουτλουάη και τη γενιά του Γκιουλέρ, του Ονάν, του Ηλιασόφα. Ήταν δύο γενιές. Επίσης στάθηκε πολύ και στον κανόνα που έχουμε ότι νομίζω ανα πάσα στιγμή στο παρκέ πρέπει να υπάρχουν 2 ή 3 Τούρκοι παίκτες. Αυτό ήταν κάτι που τους βοήθησε στο να εξελιχθούν, γιατί δεν είχαν ποτέ 5 Αμερικάνους. Άμα το καλό σκεφτείς, Ανδρέα. Δηλαδή, τουλάχιστον μιλάμε τώρα στο τουρκικό πρωτάθλημα. Πάντα έδιναν χώρο στους νεαρούς Τούρκους παίκτες να εξελιχθούν. Και αυτό το βλέπουμε και ακόμα και τώρα, έτσι. Νομίζω με εξαίρεση την Εθνική Ισπανία, οι Τούρκοι στα πρωταθλήματα εφήβων και νέων είναι πάντα δεύτερη, τρίτη, πάντα είναι στο καλύτερο. Και γι' αυτό και βλέπεις ακόμα και σήμερα νέους παίκτες όπως τον Αλπερέν Σεγγιούν στους Rockets, τον Γιουρτσεβέν όσο έπαιξε στους Heat, γιατί λόγω COVID λείπαν όλοι. Πάλι έπαιξε και έκανε κάτι 15 πόντους, 10 rebound. Βλέπεις τον Κορκμάζ, βλέπεις τον Τσέντιοσμαν, βλέπεις ότι η Τουρκία έχει μέλλον. Από μένα είμαστε εντάξει. Αντρέα, μου κάνει τελευταία ερώτηση για να κλείσουμε.
Coach, one last question. If the 75-year-old Bogdan Tanjevic could see that 24-year-old boy standing in the stands of the Bosnia court, what would you say to him?
Oh, it's difficult now. It's a different time. You cannot give the advice. Nobody. I saw also in 2 situations when I was a director and not a coach. I saw my assistant coach, they didn't understand me. I saw that you cannot put in the head of somebody nothing what he doesn't think. So today in Bosnia Sarajevo, it's impossible to make something because no money, no nothing. The players, they are not more connected with the club like one time. Immediately after they let's say you find good talent, you bring him up, they become known, and they are already next year somewhere in the world, Barcelona, Turkey, and Slovenia. So it's difficult. Bosnia, it's a very difficult situation. I don't see the kind how, and no enough good advice to give somebody.
Okay.
Να πούμε και τον νικητή του διαγωνισμού.
Ναι, τον έχουμε.
Είναι 10 νούμερα. Να μας πει ο coach 2 νούμερα νούμερα από το 1 μέχρι το 10. Coach, could you
Ρώψε
tell us two numbers from 1 to 10?
Excuse me.
Could you tell us two numbers from 1 to 10?
Let's say 3 and 7.
All right. Οι νικητές του διαγωνισμού θα ανακοινωθούν μετά την εκπομπή. Αντρέα μου, θες να κλείσουμε σιγά σιγά?
Ναι. Coach, thank you very much for being here today. It was a truly honor, and that you shared all these memories with us. And I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for accepting. And it was great for me and for yours belief just talking with the legendary Bogdan Tanjevic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of
You helped me to live another time. So these great games and great moments of the life, and also the sad moment of the lives. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Αγαπητοί μπασκετόφιλοι, ήταν ακόμα ένα retro stories με καλεσμένο έναν πολύ μεγάλο προπονητή, τον κύριο Bogdan Tanjevic. Σας ευχαριστούμε που ήσασταν μαζί μας. Καλή νύχτα.
Καλό βράδυ.